La 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 la. Inside joke. Way inside. So I came in this morning and I heard one of our Unity singers say to our illustrious minister of music, "So are we still in La La Land?" He didn't add the land part, I did. "Are we still La La Land?" I went, "Yeah, let's do that." Welcome to La La Land. Good morning, children of God. What can I say? Demonstration is not distant in time or space, but in events. I need to think about that one a little bit. One of the things I know for sure is that we can stand. Let's join together. Join with Steve in the silence. In this moment, love is here. Truth is here. Peace is here. God is here. And we take a moment, O loving Father, Mother God, and acknowledge your presence moving in and through us this day. This day, we choose to be open and receptive and responsive to your instruction and to your guidance. This day, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, in the power of the Christ. Amen.
We will hear now the reading of the daily word. Today's daily word is triumph, and it will be read for us by Eric.
Our daily word's about composure. I am present, poised, and peaceful. Gymnasts make walking on a balance beam seem simple. They do this by focusing completely on what they are doing. I give the same disciplined and loving attention in each activity in my life. When I start to lose my footing, I don't panic. Rather, I act in equanimity. I remain calm and make small adjustments to regain my balance. This starts with realigning with the one power in my life, God. I avoid overreacting by taking a deep breath and once again connecting with the Spirit. I am then able to act and react with poise, composure, and presence. My feet remain firmly planted when I stay in constant contact with God, and I am content and joyful and have peace of mind right here and right now. And 1 Timothy 6, verse 6 says, "Of course there is great gain in godliness combined with contentment."
This is living proof, by the way, that things do not need to be perfect to be perfect. They just show up and we let them happen and laugh and have fun. And we're learning to be authentic is really what it comes down to. And the more I can identify with the truth of me and present that to the world, the more it comes into being. Let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's rest into that. Join with Steve, I believe. Having spoken these words of the truth, I believe. Lord, I trust. I have faith. Gently now, easily, we move to that place within us that Jesus called our inner closet, our secret place. It is that place within you where there is no question, there is no doubt. The Father and I are one. And following his instruction, as we enter into this place, we close the door. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day. And for one holy moment, we rest. Here in the stillness, in the silence, we listen. For in our prayers we have learned to ask, believing. It is here in the stillness and in the silence that answers come. Perhaps in a word, freedom, honor, order, regardless of how these gifts come to you this day, know they come to you wrapped in love. This day, say yes. This day, choose to reach out, to claim these gifts as your own. And as you do so, immerse yourself in them. Breathe. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, each and every cell of my being responds. Love flows from me, through me, into my world. This day, I choose to be open and allow this flow to move through me, from me, first into this place. Good flows and joins together with other thought of like mind, growing in strength and in power, touching each and every one of God's children. And in this moment, I am blessed. I choose to continue to be a blessing from me, through me, from this place into our spiritual community, wherever that might be this day. Touching, healing, blessing. Into our community. Touching, healing, blessing. Understanding, peace, and in this moment, I am blessed. Accepting this blessing, I choose to continue to be a blessing from me, through me, across our state, across our country. Touching, healing, blessing. From this place of oneness, we look through circumstance and know the truth. Regardless of appearance, I am there. Knowing this truth in this moment, I am blessed. From me, through me, around our world, throughout our universe, good flows, love flows. And remembering our truth, that in spirit and in truth we are never separate one from the other. Somewhere, somewhen, someone is saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For in this moment, the gifts coming from you, through you, gratefully received. And that gratitude swells up and returns to you. And in this moment, the cycle of life, the circle of life, whole and complete, I breathe it. I move in it. And I rest for one holy moment. And knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, gently now, easily, we bring our attention back to this now, to this place, to this when. And holding to this experience we have just shared, we join together and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, "As for you, pray therefore in this manner." So I was playing with a friend golf on Friday, which is I try and do every week. And he said to me, "I haven't read the newspaper this morning. What are you talking about on Sunday?" And I said, "Well, the title of the lesson is God is, period. Man exists." And his eyes got about this big around. Wow. He's not here today. It's all right. One exposure at a time is all it takes. It'll happen. You see, a lot of people still haven't made that connection. For a lot of people, God is out there. Right? And we have learned, and hopefully practice, to remember what Jesus taught. The Father and I are one. You and I are one. God lives here. God exists. God is, and therefore I exist. How do I know that? Well, because it sounds like a really good thing and I believe it. And if you don't, okay. We'll come together on something with which we agree. How do I know? Because we're here. You say? And we start with the base principle. God is all, both visible and invisible. And this one is all is perfect: life, love, intelligence, and substance. Man is an expression of God, and therefore one with perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. And then you get to play with words, which Rob likes to do a lot. Because that word exists is ex, which means out of, sisteri, which is the base word for the other part, which means bringing forth. Out of God, bringing forth the truth. That's who you are. You are God in visible form. Now, not currently expressing the perfection, he said, raising his hand. But I'm working on it. Because I know it's there for me. And so I practice a lot. And sometimes I get it really well, and sometimes not quite so much. See, the thoughts and feelings that you have right now, you've had before. You've changed them over time, perhaps many lifetimes, if that's your belief. I believe there's only one life, so I like to word it this way: over many incarnations, which means you can bring it up however you want. And if you're one of those who believes I have a beginning and I have an end, God love you. Not true, but it's okay. It's not the truth I understand and know, because there is no beginning nor end. Life is. So what I need to do is practice living. If something's going on in my world that is less than the perfection I desire, I need to make a shift in thinking. Because I'm holding on to something. Now, before we get into it's all my fault, my world looks like this, wrong. It's not about fault, guilt, blame, none of that. It just is. It's just a misunderstanding under the generations. Right? It took a long time in evolution to hold to the thought of there is only one God. We still hold on to the notion on this planet that there are a lot of gods with a lot of different names. And even our own Bible gives room for it in this discussion. Thou shalt have no other gods, plural, before me. That suggests that there is the one and a lot of other gods as well. So I had to think about that. What did that mean? Well, what do you focus upon? Where does your attention lie? Are you praying to the great God, they? That's one of those guys. They said, they do, they believe. Oops. I put that God before. Need to rethink. Need to rethink. Put it to work. Isn't it nice that that's what they think? I now no longer have to take it on, understand it, honor it, but it's just not mine. Somebody asked me not too long ago that there's so much that you look at your world and say, there are many paths to God. As an example, how come you just stick with this one thing? Why don't you teach about, and then they give me a list of instructors who are all wise men beyond their time, some of them. Why do I stick to Jesus and practical Christianity? Well, the biggest reason is this doctrine is about here and now. The kingdom of God is with you. Not someday, as some sages suggest, not if you practice a certain way, as others suggest, but with you right here, right now. God is. And you don't need a party line to hook. You don't need to hook in. You're not getting a phone call. Well, you could. So if someday you get a call, look at the number, because Rob has been known to say, "Hi, I'm answering your prayer." It's fun to watch people on the other end of the phone when you do that. Well, you do it when you can see them if you're lucky. Because the work that we do is serious, but I love to play. I love to have fun. Because that's joy-filled. And the more I do that, the easier it is for others to buy in to this experience that we call unity, to this experience that we call practical Christianity, to this experience we call metaphysical discussion and metaphysical interpretation, looking beyond the physical. That's hard for a lot of people to do. Well, it makes sense. You have 5 senses, right? Well, that you know about. There are others who suggest there are other levels. Can't dispute it necessarily. But my input, as a rule, comes from these 5. So if I hold to the input from just these 5, and I focus on that, I'm living where? In my material world. That's only half the shot. That's the visible. There's still the invisible. So I need to, 1, stretch. I need to be willing to say, there might be something more to this than I can see. And then take in an idea, let it thunder around, and then make a decision. And the decision goes like this. Do I want to incorporate that thought or not? And either way, the answer is right one for you. The challenge becomes this. What if I have the wrong thought? Anybody besides me ever had that one? We all go through that, right? What if it's the wrong one? How do I know? Well, there's a test. It's a simple test. It is not God testing me. It is me testing myself and my understanding. So the test goes like this. It's a Dr. Philism. How's that working for you? In other words, I look at my world and I say, what's happening in my world? And if there is a point of contention, a point of dis-ease, unease, frustration even perhaps, then maybe I need to take a look at that. Is there something I can look at in a different way? Can I look past this experience, this circumstance? Can I look past it and recognize my truth? Regardless of appearance, I am a beloved child of God. That is the truth of me, whether I believe it or not. I happen to believe it. I add another word, in whom I am well pleased. But then, that's Rob patting Rob. Feel free to pat you. You should. Because you're doing something, way you are, that no one else can ever do. No one can be a better you than you. No one can express the truth that you are better than you. Now, you may have to go through some changes, some acceptance pieces that are contrary to what the 5 senses proclaim. But I am fascinated by the world in which I live. I think I know I've shared this with you before because this is the most current one. You know the cell phone is only 8 years old? The smartphone, 8 years old. It's a baby, and it's smarter than I am. I said something to Linda last night. I said, according to the phone, it's going to rain later tonight. According to the phone? Yes, it has a weather app. Isn't that amazing? And guess what? The app didn't get it any righter than the weatherman did when he did it on the news at 11 o'clock. They're both wrong. Kinda. They just need to look out the window. Weather is so easy. I don't know why people make it such a big deal. I hold my hand out. If it gets wet, it's raining. If it's white, that's snow. And I can't tell what's going to happen 5 minutes from now unless I do that. I just need to be open. So I've learned not to get weirder and crazier. I just say, oh, okay, this is what it says. And then I do what? I begin to listen. I open up. And by golly, around 11 o'clock last night, started to rain. Didn't quit till about 6 o'clock this morning at our house. Now, I don't know what it did at your house, but at my house, it rained. A lot. I slept right through it. Thank you, God. My world needed it. We have a field that we walk the dog. The field is green. It's been brown for the last 4 months. 3 or 4 days of rain, pure green. It's beautiful. Love to walk in it. See, the planet just takes care of itself when I just kind of observe and watch what's going on. Because I know all things exist, come from God, bringing forth from God. So that field that looked dead isn't. It was just, what? Resting. And when circumstance came together, growth, right and perfect time. Not on Rob's schedule, I might point out, but when it needed to happen. Okay? I can then apply that to just about everything in my life. As I begin to hold to the truth of me, it will come to pass into demonstration when I allow it to take place in its right and perfect time. And I don't even need to know what that is. I just need to trust that it is so and begin to live from that place. So hiding in here, in this demonstration, this expression, is the perfection with which I was created in the image and likeness. I just need to bring it out. One thought at a time. One day at a time. One lifetime at a time. Here and now. The challenge that most of us face is we live in two spots and ping pong between them. We live in the past and we live in the future. And we go like this all the time. And we wonder why we have a headache. That's what our thoughts are doing, constantly bouncing. Past, forward, past, forward. And what we're learning to do is go, just breathe, and bring it to now. Right here, right now. I can't change that which has already occurred. And that which is coming is not yet to be. I'm back to here. What I do here will show up. And so if something is not quite right in my world, all I have to do is come back here and say, the next incarnation, which could be that one, I would rather see, and I hold a new thought. And guess what? That thought comes into demonstration. Now, it may not come as fast as I would like to see it. I think to myself, how long have we been singing the peace song? Does the word forever come to mind? Right. And yet, the experience seems to be less than that. Well, why? Well, because not everybody gets it yet. We're not all ready to demonstrate it yet. I'm still going through the process of understanding who I am. I'm coming out of what we euphemistically call survival mode into a better understanding, a metaphysical understanding. There's more beyond that which I see, and perhaps into a mystical one where I'm really, really, really connected to our one, to the one, using whatever name you choose: Spirit, Universe, Allah, Allah, Jehovah, Yeshua. Pick a name. Go for it. Because it's here that you paint a picture with that name. And as you grow and as you learn to shape those pictures, that's what comes into fruition. It's when I say to you, one of the pieces I hold for us is new carpet. Let's use that one as an example. Okay? It's already done. Now, I'm still walking on the green one. P.S. The new one may be green too. Nainer, nainer. Saying. I don't know. What I am saying is it's done. It just hasn't come into demonstration yet. But I'm holding the thought. And I'll keep on holding the thought. And in its right and perfect way, it will show up as we come together in that vision. It's why we share visions, by the way. Where would we be if Jesus decided, no, I'm not sharing. I got it. You guys figure it out. May I humbly suggest that that's happened? That thought of at-one-ment has been there a long time, but it took someone to make a decision to present it in such a way that we would understand it, and 2,000 years later, we're still trying to figure it out. But at least we've got hold of the idea. It is bigger than us, but not so big that I get lost in it. How do I know? Because I can look right in the mirror and see it. And I practice this all the time, and I invite you to do it as well. Paint a picture. Wherever you are, you're standing right now in front of a mirror. And the mirror can see all kinds of stuff. It's just a reflection, but what it's reflecting is what you, yes? And to that reflection, I love you. Together? I love you. Regardless of what it shows, could be a warp in the glass. I bless you. Together? I bless you. I appreciate you. Together? I appreciate you. And now I take it in, all of it. Not only the image, not only the mirror, but the one. In this moment, I behold the Christ. Together? I behold the Christ. Your level of understanding, God is, I exist, just went up a notch. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.